So, girl that breaks your heart, and to produce the energy to say, watch who I'm going to be in life. For the rest of your life, you're going to brag about the fact that you could have had me, right?
Yep.
And then comes to a point where you're like, okay, there's not much more I can do. She's already knows what she missed out on. Now what? But for me, go back to you. I'm curious. How bad of a breakup was it? How bad did she break your heart?
Yeah,
I know you're
yeah,
you know.
I think lots of men have gone through heartbreak. A lot of men have, and I wouldn't say that I've gone through any heartbreak which is particularly worse than any other guy. What I will say is that I think heartbreak is one of the most fantastic motivator on the planet. When a lot of men message me and say they're heartbroken, I think that is the most fantastic mindset to be in to achieve things. Because there is that degree of revenge, and there is that degree of vengeance, and that can only be achieved through being so successful, so monumentally important that she can't forgive you. And also, you cannot even sleep, you can't even concentrate, like your whole mind's a mess. That's the perfect time to train. I know what you're saying. I don't think I've been through a particularly bad heartbreak, but I'm saying that.
Who did she leave you for? Did she leave you for somebody where?
No, I don't think I've had a particularly bad heartbreak. I only mention heartbreak all the time because I know it's a path every single young man goes through.
I also think you're not a type of guy that would ever give credit to that person, if there was one. So I don't see you saying that, because it is a form of a victory over Top G, which that's not going to happen.
Well,
right?
that's part of it. But then let's analyze now, right? There's no girl who I've ever been with in my life who can now turn on the internet without seeing my face.
Sure.
Isn't that beautiful? They have to all lie to their man and pretend they don't know me.
Oh, I don't know him.
Because if they go, I was with him for a few years, their whole relationship will probably break down, because then he's gonna get pissed off and insecure. So that to a degree is a victory. That's kind of fun. But no, I didn't have any. The reason I say heartbreak is because in the modern world, I don't think things were as bad when I was younger. I think women were more pure when I was younger. Even in when I was 20, it's only 16 short years. I think women were actually a lot purer before OnlyFans, before Instagram. The sexual marketplace wasn't globalized.
Yeah.
When I was 20, if there was a hot girl in the small town, she was the hot girl in the small town. Now, if she's the hot girl in the small town, she's also in Dubai and Courchevel. And the whole world's globalized. The competition's globalized. Everything's changed. I didn't have a particularly hard time. The reason I say heartbreak is because 80% of the emails I get from men are about heartbreak. I think that most men, especially young men in the world today, are getting their hearts broken. And when you're saying who are they leaving for, they're leaving for the millionaire who hits them up on Instagram. It's hard.
Is that what happened to you?
That's not what happened to me. No.
Okay.
But I'm talking about the emails I get. You're a guy, you're in Nebraska, to high school sweetheart, she's a 10, everything's fine, she's in Courchevel with a millionaire. Instagram. You had an argument one day.
I'm trying to target you purely for one reason. Because a big part of my drive, I've had drive always. I was a dreamer. I was the guy that was, but at the same time, the drive for success came after a lot of pain.
Of course.
Coming right afterwards. So that's why I'm asking you the question. So when that happened to you, did you fear risk of loving somebody? Where it's kind of like, I'll get this close, but boom, I got to move on. No, I got to move on. Did that happen or no?
No, I wouldn't say that particularly happened. What did happen though, like I said earlier, is when you have experience with lots of different apples, you know what a good one and a bad one is. So when we say we all had that girl we messed up when we were young, if I found another girl with those qualities, I certainly wouldn't mess it up. You need experience to understand what you have to value it. If you don't have experience, you don't value what you have. So the original question is a really good one, of whether men are chained and enslaved by their desires, or whether they need to sleep with lots of women. I think in the modern world you need experience, and you need choices, and you need options. But if you live by the sword, you die by the sword. If you're going to be the guy who's also out there in the club and sleeping with lots of girls, talking to lots of girls, there's going to be times you lose a girl that you don't want to lose. You can't be a coward about it. You live by the sword, you die by the sword. There's up and down, there's rain and sunshine. You have to be that man who's going to go through it all. And then when you've been through enough of it, like I have, like I said, if I find a beautiful girl now who's a 10 and deletes and doesn't want Instagram, that's worth more to me than 1,000 stupid girls.
Respect.
Yeah, that's who I want.
Yeah, I got you.
For my safety, for my security, for my peace of mind, for everything.
You're clear on what you want today.
Absolutely, because I know.
When you played, you said there was a phase of my life that I kind of went through it. Okay. Was that after the heartbreak?
I would say, yeah, it was after, but I think that was just good. I don't know if that was deliberately driven by heartbreak. I think I was just younger and I had less serious motivations. And I wasn't as famous and I wasn't as rich and I was less interested in. So it's not just my current situation that makes me say this. I would say this to any man. If your woman wouldn't wait for you if you went to jail for 5 years, why are you with her? Why? If she wouldn't wait, I know she's hot, I know she's funny, I know she makes you laugh. But if you can't sit in that jail cell with 100% certainty that she's not out with her friends, them in her ear, talking shit, watching Sex and the City, whatever it is, and her ending up with some other guy, why are you even buying her dinner? For what, sex? Like, that loyalty to me is the only thing left that's valuable. When I'm interested and we're in jail, we're sitting there saying we have it so much better than most guys. Because most guys in jail, imagine you're a normal person, you go to jail. Who's feeding your family? Who's paying the rent? Who's feeding your kids? I said, Tristan, we're in jail and we're suffering, but everybody we love is good. I'm a man, I'm supposed to suffer. I'll sit here with the cockroaches. If that means all my kids eat, everyone I care about eats, my mother's fed, my mother has a house, roof over her head, everybody has everything they want. Only person suffering is me. I'll take that all day. Most men who go to jail can't say that. Another thing that gave me absolute peace of mind is the women who love me are waiting for me. Imagine you go to jail and you're completely heads over heels in love with a woman, but you know deep in your heart that she's out in the club and she's stealable. We talk about thoughts you can't get out of your head in jail. It's amazing how when you lose all access to electronics, how thoughts are amplified. Most of us sitting here, you've never been without a phone or without a laptop or without a computer for 93 days. You'd be amazed how loud you can think. You'd be amazed how vivid your mind is. I learned that. If you had the nagging thought in your head, I loved her, she cheated on me before, maybe she cheated again, she hasn't written me in 3 days, and then plus jail. That's why they're all crying. That's why all the men in there were sobbing. Their wives are either fucking someone else or the bills ain't paid. It's not just his situation, it's everything else. Yeah. So now if you're gonna say to me, what do I respect in a woman? I respect a woman who's gonna wait for me. I have no interest in a woman, oh, she's funny, she's cool, she's hot. Don't care. Don't care. Is she going to wait for me? And I also know, because of my experience, which ones would and which ones wouldn't. I'm not stupid. Because they'll all say they would. They'll all say they'll wait, because they're on the jet. But I know which ones are lying. Because enough women have lied to me. I've seen it. So you do need that experience, but once you have the experience, you start looking for completely other things.
Quick story to almost validate your point about experience. I like the direction Pat was going with this about if you want relationships or sex with a woman. Quick anecdote. Your friend Myron, Fresh and Fit, yep. We just did a big live event 3 days ago. It was myself, Myron, Fresh, we're sitting on a panel, 20 women. Yep. And he goes, watch this. Masterclass. Andrew, masterclass. He asked all the women on the panel, average 25-year-old woman, you tell me the amount of sexual partners she's had. What's the body count? And these women give a wide range of, the 3, 10, 15, 20. One girl said 100. Numbers were crazy. Goes down the list. Ask all the, okay, great. Ladies, show of hands. How many of you want a man with more sexual experience than yourself? Every single girl put their hand up and they said, yeah, I want a man with more experience than myself. And the reason this came about was because Ben Shapiro reacted to a video of me questioning Myron. All right, when should a man get married? And he basically gave a checklist. You need to make 100 grand a year, you need to have slept with 50 women, you need to have 6 to 12 months of savings, a checklist. And Ben Shapiro was like, that's disgusting. This is a guy that married the first person that he had sex with. And it was incredible to see every woman validate everything that Myron was saying and everything that you were saying about experience.
Oh, women respect experience. In fact, I saw on a TV show, and this was like 10 years ago, and I have no idea what the show was, but it was a show about, it was on Channel 4 in the UK, and it was a show about sex and 85% of virgin women would rather sleep with a man who'd already had sex than a virgin man.
Wow.
A virgin woman doesn't even want a man with the same level of experience. You're respected for your level of sexual experience. And women are naturally demonized for their level of sexual experience. And even the ones in the West who pretend that's not true, the ones who are fully psyoped, wait till they see a girl they don't like. What's the first thing they call her?
She's a hoe.
Whore. Slut. First insult out their mouth is she's promiscuous. So they know deep in their heart promiscuity is bad because they call each other promiscuous when they want to insult each other. So yeah, you absolutely need that experience to make sure you don't get wrecked in psyop. But now, just in my current dating life, And it's good that this is on this podcast, so the girls can still email me. It's nice to read, but sorry, I don't trust any of you. I don't trust any of you. I don't trust anybody new. I have no new friends, no new girlfriends. Absolutely no. I'm not interested in any of it, because the things I value now are not the things I valued when I was younger. My life was very, very different, but I'm glad I had that experience now, so I can see who is lying and who isn't. I can tell. I can just instantly tell if they would lie or not.
So let me kind of get to the point of what I was trying to say. I'm kind of more on your side. I don't have a Ben Shapiro story, but I think what happens is there's also risk for men to fear because that could happen to me, so therefore I will never risk getting into a relationship because of XYZ. So Chelsea Handler, he brings her up, right? Our initial reaction was, look at her, she's doing this, she's doing that. So let me look up what her life was like. And Mario Aguilar says, hey Pat, did you know her life? I said, I have no idea what her life was. So she's 9 years old. Her brother at 22, who was her hero, her first love, her first, her second father, loves him. He's going mountain climbing. He says, Chelsea, can't wait to come back and see you. Great. Goes mountain climbing, falls, dies. She's 9. Yeah. She comes back. She says, the most painful time of my life, right? So then when she needs her father to be there for her, he's gone. Yeah. He's devastated. They had 6 kids, I believe. Mom and dad were still together. Yeah. So they're married. And they were doing okay, car salesman, making money. And then she says, till today, I may be successful, and she puts the act in the book, I'm still in a lot of pain. She was being interviewed by Howard Stern. Yeah. Got emotional talking about this. Okay. So we can sit there and laugh about it, but for men, similar thing happens as well. Well, a girl broke my heart. Dude, I will never, ever give this risk to that. I think there's also, as influencers, we have to also make sure that men know, look, just look at the stuff that you did wrong.
Completely.
Look at the stuff on how you repositioned yourself in the wrong way. Right off the bat, being too much of a this, that. Now, just when you go in, like the way you said, I love when you said, what are you doing watching this show? We don't watch this in this house. Yeah. We watch this. Now impose and have earn the respect to be able to impose your beliefs in a way where you can coach and lead.
You nailed it, because what did I say earlier about this podcast? How many times I'm going to watch it back?
15 times.
Yeah, because I live an experience and I analyze the experience and I draw every lesson from that experience. If you're a man who has a heartbroken, a lot of them are so stupid that they may revert to the mindset that you've said. They may say, I don't want to have my heart broken again, but they haven't sat there and said, why did this happen? You have to know the why to prevent it from happening. You have to analyze the scenario and learn from it. One thing